number 1. Now, point number 1 is very simple. Straight line equation is y equals to mx plus c. Now, step number 1 is always to find gradient. I don't know how you can talk and copy at the same time, but I'm scrolling up, so I hope you can write faster. Now, to find gradient, there are a few methods. Part 1, method number 1, I use the formula method. So, formula method is gradient equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, whichever method you like. Method number 2 is when they tell you somewhat like similar lines, then you know that the gradient is the same. Method number 3 is when they tell you somewhat there's a perpendicular line, or somewhat you hear the word 90 degrees somewhere, you know that gradient 1 times gradient 2 is equals to minus 1. Now with these 3, most of the time you are able to find the gradient. Of course, the fourth way is they tell you it is linked to another line, then make sure you compare the m and the m, so you can then compare the gradient. And then you make a conclusion whether they are the same or they multiply to give you minus 1. Okay. Now, moving forward, B, after you find, so step 1 is to find the gradient. Step 2 is to find the, thank you, to find the C. And C, we refer to Y-intercept. Now, to find Y-intercept, very simple. There's only one way, I think, is to sub a point on the line. The point must pass through the line. Okay, then sub xy inside, then you go and find C. Okay, don't forget to write down the final step. Y equals to a number x plus a number. Anyone need me to clarify anything before I go on to the second one? Point. So P-O-I-N-T, point. Okay. Now number 2. Number 2, I want to talk about intercept. I'm referring to x-intercept and y-intercept. So whenever you hear the word cuts the x-axis, what can you conclude? Let y be equals to 0. And you know that the coordinate is always something comma 0. Okay, this is a very important point because they will show it on the diagram. They will give you in terms of a sentence. Now B, when they give you cut the y-axis, the opposite is true. So let x be 0, or the coordinate you will say 0 comma something. Third one is talk about length of AB. Okay, so length of AB is equal to simply take the x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. It can be x1 minus x2 as well. You go and make your own judgment. But the length is just like that. So far okay, Am I too fast? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me change it with a red pen. This should be y1. Sorry. Okay, fourth one I want to talk about is your midpoint. So we say midpoint formula, midpoint of AB. Let's say I have A and B, and midpoint is C. So we say C is equals to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Can I assume I can scroll up to here? Oh no. No, not given. None. 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 Okay. Now number 5. Number 5 is area of any shape equals to half modulus A, B, C, D, A. No. Then is half downwards multiplied by upwards. So you can draw some downward arrow. You can draw some upward arrow. And two very important conditions. Number 1, it must be clockwise or anti-clockwise? Anti-clockwise. So write down, repeat the first point. The first point. Number 2 is in anti-clockwise. Last one. And last one, the list is not exhaustive as of now, meaning to say later on when I go through the one piece homework on Monday, I will add in more and more things. Okay, so I want you to write down to find a point. That means I want you to find a coordinate, because very often in this part there will be one question say find coordinate B, find point C, find point D. Then you will ask me, teacher, which method do I use? What way do I use? How do I find? Okay, so I'm going to list out all the different ways, and then later on, you're going to decide which is your favorite way. Way number, should I use number? Number is easier to help us. Method, I just write. Method 1, method 1. Method 1, very straightforward. I solve simultaneous equation. So always remember, when you solve simultaneous equation, you are actually finding a coordinate. Method number 2. Method number 2 is if the point lies on the x or y axis, it becomes very easy. You will let y be 0. If it's lying on the y axis, you let x be 0. Anything you want me to explain the handwriting? Can I show example on simultaneous equation? Can you refer to your worksheet? So I use the worksheet and then I write down. How about this? I tell you like that, then you defeat the purpose. Can you look at this worksheet? Go and complete it. Monday, when I go through this, I'll tell you worksheet question 3B, question 4B uses this method. Then you point back to this worksheet. I think it's more meaningful. Instead I'll tell you like that, then later you just blindly follow like a cheat sheet like that. Okay? So I rather you enjoy the game, go and finish the whole worksheet, then later I tell you the answer. Where's the link? No, there's a lot. Ready for the next one? Hey, there's a lot. There are altogether 6 or 7 methods to do. Huh? Yeah. I'm going to list it out. Okay, now, method number 3. It is not in order, so you can use whichever method it is. Method number 3 is to use the midpoint formula. Method number 4. is to use the gradient formula. Method number 5, to find a point. That means to find a coordinate. You can use a lot of different methods. You can use the length formula. Square root x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square. Alright, number 6. You can use a vector formula. Okay. Now, vector formula is a new thing to you, so I will use the worksheet. Can everyone? Okay, so worksheet maybe I use a different color. Worksheet. Worksheet, is it spelled like that? Worksheet question 1. Question 1. The one that we went through the other day. Question 1C part 1. With me. Jia do you mind? Can you share your worksheet with Matthew first? Okay, I'm going to copy down the formula, the question, that part that is used, and then I'm going to share with you how is it done. Now, there's 2 conditions to it. Can you write down condition A? Condition A, it must be parallel. Wrong spelling. Condition B, usually they will tell you it is how many times longer or shorter. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an example. Maybe I'll write down example 6. So later on, the full script that you will have example 3, example 4, example 5. Because right now you're asking me, teacher, how do I use midpoint to find a point? How do I use gradient to find a point? How do I use x-intercept to find a point? So I'm going to explain only when I meet the question on the revision worksheet. So on Monday, when I see question 2b, I will tell you question 2b, make use of number 2 to find. Question 2b uses number 5 to find. Then we will go through. Now, can everyone take down what is important? Maybe you take down the diagram. I copy, you copy. So the thing is AB and DC. Does this diagram make sense to you? You look at the question. Does it make sense to you? Can you also copy 0, 6? B is 8, 8. D is 2, negative 2. And then they say find C. Look at the diagram. Your paper. I'm referring to question 1. Question 1. It looks like that. Now, so 2 conditions, they say AB is parallel to CD. So they say AB is parallel to CD. They also say DC is equals to twice the length of AB. Do you see that? Do you see that? Okay, I don't need already. So let me show you the vector method. Vector is a Sec 4 topic and it's the last topic of the year, which means your Sec 4 seniors are learning now, or your Sec 4 seniors are learning in June, in May. That means done already. They are done already. Okay. So next year, this time I will do this method again. I'll ask you. Do you remember last year I refer? Okay, start. So last lesson before I ended, I give you one example. Now I will give you the same example again. My first question is, Eretina is here. A stands for Eretina. Eretina have to walk how many steps horizontally to reach directly below B? So I look at Eretina. Eretina say My starting point is 0, x, and my ending point is 8. How many steps must I walk on x? So Aritina say, oh, because I focus my attention in 0 and 8, I know that my horizontally, I need to walk 8 steps. Then you need to help Aritina to find her home. So Aritina is now on the 6 on the y-axis. Aritina needs to walk to 8. So vertically, I know I need to walk 8. 2. 2. Now, then I tell myself, hey, to have one set of AB, I must walk 8 steps to the right, 2 steps up. Now, how many times as long for CD? 2, right? Like 2 times as long. That means I have to walk 2 sets of 8 and 2. Do you follow? Which means I can copy like 2 triangle here, 2 triangle here to reach the C. Now, if you recall the previous lesson, the first method I show you is horrendous because later I show you. So this is 8, this is 2, this is 8, this is 2. Do you follow what I'm trying to draw here?
Not drawn to scale.
Not drawn to scale. This is a vector method. Vector method. Okay. So I say I copy one set 8 2, that is one length. I copy one more set, that is 2 length because twice as long. I will reach C eventually. So my question back to you is horizontally, how many steps did I walk in total? 16. Therefore C, I know the answer is I take my current step 2. I take my current one, 2, 2 plus 16. Because at the moment it is 2. I need to plus 8 plus 8. So I take 2 plus 16. Now, the other one, I start at negative 2. Negative 2. I know I need to plus 2 to get to where I am. So over here, I will need to get negative 2 plus 2, which is 2. So you see, by writing like that, straight away I will get the final answer. The final answer is 18, 2. The final answer is 18, 2. How do I know? Because my starting point, Zahira, my starting point is 2 for x. This is already at 2. How many steps must I walk to the right? 8 and 8. So together I must write 8 plus 8. So I'm at 2 currently. Where's my ending point? 2 plus 8 plus 8. Horizontally. So 2 plus 16. My starting point is negative 2. I need to go up by 2 steps and 2 steps. I need to go up by 4 steps. So negative 2 plus 2 plus 2. So you see the worksheet. What is the answer for C? 18, 2. Do you follow? Follow. Now, let me show you previously how I do. All done with this? Okay. Now, let me show you previously. Do you remember this one, this ugly thing here? I say we use length formula, we use gradient formula, then you're, wow, just so messy. But actually no need. You just use a vector method you can solve. Can follow so far? Okay. Now, I will stop the video here and I will continue on Monday and I'll create one special video just on this. Because as of now, you have 6 different ways. When to use which way, you have to decide. Okay? So please do your homework.